What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be installing VViViD vinyl wrap that I found on Amazon. Full disclosure, this is actually the first time I am wrapping anything on a car, so this is not a how-to. This is strictly me trying to figure out if I can actually do this, and if you want to do it yourself, everything will be linked in the description below. First, we're going to start off by removing the drip molding on the top of my car. If you happen to own an Evo, I recommend getting extra clips because you will guaranteed break these. I may be new at vinyl wrapping a car, but I know that prep is everything, so I start off by vacuuming out all the dirt and grime that was in the channel that the drip molding sat in, followed by spraying the channel liberally with this Turtle Wax exterior detailer just to make sure I get everything that the vacuum did not grab. As you can see here, it's pretty disgusting, so you definitely want to make sure you take your time with this step. Next, we're going to remove the antenna. I'm not going to get in too much detail about this, but to quickly summarize, you have to remove part of the headliner down along with the B and C pillar covers, and lastly the two handles in the back to be able to access the two nuts that hold the antenna base in place. Next, we're going to clay bar the roof to remove any contaminants that happen to be in the paint. The roof of my car is actually not perfect, which is why I am wrapping it today, but I just want to make sure that the surface is at least as smooth and as clean as possible. As you can see here, it was pretty bad. Now that all the surfaces are clean and prepped and ready for vinyl, I bought this knifeless finish line from 3M. I want to make sure that I had a clean line that would not cut into any important bits of rubber. That includes this piece here in the front above the windshield as well as in the back, because I want to make sure that I tuck the wrap underneath those rubber bits without using a knife and potentially ruining that rubber piece. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I purchased VViViD wrap from Amazon. I went with the carbon fiber look because I figured the pattern might help hide some of the flaws that are on the roof. Now it's time to lay down the wrap, and since I'm going into uncharted territory here, I got my wife to come help me at least lay down the initial part because it's a very large piece of vinyl and it's extremely sticky stuff. I am not familiar with how others are, but this stuff is pretty tough to work with. I really didn't know where to actually begin, so I kind of just picked a corner and started making my way around the top of the car, slowly taking my time to make sure that I did as best as I could to make sure I had no creases or anything like that. By this point is when I realized I should have been using a heat gun the entire time. I was very nervous to use it, but once I realized that the heat gun actually helped, especially towards the end with all the giant creases, I was able to finish the job a lot faster. But now we're gonna go ahead and apply heat just to make sure that the adhesive is adhering to the car properly. Alright, we made it to the end. The part that I've been scared of this entire time is hoping that the vinyl will not come off when I put my sunroof back into place. And sure enough, it held up pretty good. You can see some of the flaws though. It's one of the things I'll discuss here in just a second, but not too bad.
And here is the finished result out in the sun. And I am actually really impressed at how good it looks out here. It makes sense that it doesn't look great inside because there's light that was coming from different angles, and you can see the flaws, right? This isn't perfect. Like, this looks great, especially on camera, like pictures and stuff like that and video. It looks awesome, man. You know, but I'm a beginner, so I believe with a professional using this vinyl, they would probably do a much better job. I'd give myself like a B+. So not too shabby for my first time wrapping a roof on a car. So a couple things that I would do differently next time. For one, there are some spots, and you probably can't tell that I didn't wrap very well. Like, this section right here was the toughest for me because it was the final section, and I had to, you know, pull and use heat and use the squeegee at the same time, and that was kind of a lot for me to figure out, but I finally got it. But because of that, there are a couple little spots that have little creases, and especially right here, you can't tell because the sunroof is kind of hiding it, but if you were here in person, you would kind of see it. And yeah, I mean, like, you know, there's a couple little spots right here that have little tiny bubble things that I think just will come out over time on their own. But like I said, like, it's not bad, man. Like, it looks a lot better than, you know, what it looked like before. If you guys have been here for a little while, I'll leave it up on the screen right now. You can go check out what the car cover did for my car. And I just wanted to make the car look a little bit nicer because I'm gonna eventually get the whole car resprayed the blue, and that'll come out. So that's not permanent. This car barely ever sees sun because it's always in the it's always garage kept. But yeah, like the hood, like there's a bunch of little flaws on the hood, like the front end doesn't even match because these are two different blues. When I got into an accident, this blue is from a different Evo, same with that one. These two are the same car, don't match the rest of the car, like pretty close, but the big one is that. So that's the reason why I did this. I wanted to learn how to do it as well, and I'm very happy with the results. Like, you can still see a lot of flaws. Like, this doesn't cover up any dents or anything like that because it contours to your body very, very well, as long as you know what you're doing with some heat and some patience. So it didn't cover a lot of that up. I wasn't worried about that. That's also why I went with this carbon fiber wrap, just so it can kind of like give the illusion that the roof is actually perfect. And honestly, I couldn't ask for anything better. A little bit of patience will go a long way to do it. So because of how good this came out, I'm definitely going to wrap the wing, right? The wing on these things, if you know anything about Evos, the wings eventually like start to peel. And I've had this wing done like 3 or 4, like at least 3 times, maybe 4 times at this point. And I'm tired of it. So I'm going to, like right there, look at how bad that is right there. So I think I'm just gonna wrap it to match the roof because it's a carbon fiber wing anyways. So if I can wrap it to match the roof, like I think it's gonna look freaking awesome. So I think that's the next plan. Now, should you do this as a beginner, if you got some patience and some willpower and an extra person to help you, I think you can get away with it yourself. I am very much a beginner, like I said, and I thought it came out really good. I'm very happy with it. How long will it last? I don't know. Like I said, this car never sees the sun. It never sees rain, very rarely. Like, it was daily driven for a really long time, and I retired it, and I got the other Evo, and now that one's retired, and I drive the Cadillac every day. So I might actually be wrapping that roof on that one because I was so happy with how this came out that I'd probably just be doing that one next. But I would also like to do the hood. For 50 bucks in material, like, yeah, I definitely want to cover the hood. That way the car looks good until I can come up with money to paint this whole car, because it's going to be like 3 grand to paint this thing, like minimum. And honestly, like, look at that, man. Like, I'm so happy with how that came out. I love this car. If you've been with me for a long time, you know this is my forever car. So I just want to make it look good as possible for as long as possible. The other thing I did mess up on as well though is as I was putting this on, I noticed right here was a little bit higher, and I pushed down with my thumb and now there's a little indentation. It's driving me freaking nuts because it's a brand new drip molding, but that's okay. Like, the car's not perfect. And yeah, I think I've explained enough. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.